Got it.
Okay, good afternoon all. Yesterday you made me to do a bit of some research. I did a bit of some reading, I think.
You'll be an engineer after this.
Yeah, I work for an engineering company, so.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
For the ESCOM of Zambia.
Yes. Where in Zambia are you staying?
In Lusaka.
Oh, okay.
Once in a while, I normally come to South Africa. It's just that after this COVID thing, I stopped. But would visit ESCOM, have some few meetings there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But you're not missing much here, so it's okay.
Yeah, sure. So there's something that we were missing yesterday. One, it was on these megawatts. These are the ones that we're going to use. It's basically, I think it's 1 unit for this power station Medupe. I don't know how you pronounce it. Yeah. Then let me just go back to the model. Okay. So, what I should have adopted notes. Let me just change this. This is 794. That is the installed capacity for this particular power station. Then on capex per kilowatt hour, just to show you what I was doing. So it is basically the total capex, which is for the baseline plant and capture system, divided by the installed capacity. In this case, it's 794. So from this one, I think we got it from CN4. So if you have any other capital capex that you think should be in there, then we can add it up. But based on the instruction that you are given, I think all the financial parameters you should get from CN4. I don't know if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, I think it seems that way as well.
On all the financial parameters.
I think even in the template, it mentions the different parts of the capex we would have to include. So, yeah.
Then on non-fuel Opex, again, I got it from CN4. Let me just go there. Somewhere, just somewhere in here. This amount. Because you have two types of Opex. You have the fuel Opex, which is basically the cost, the core cost, which was, I think, 80.2 per ton. So whatever cost that comes in there, it is regarded as a fuel cost. Then you have the non-fuel Opex, which is $19.60 per megawatt. So that is why I got that number.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so on the variable cost, I know yesterday our heads spinned on this particular part. I'll explain how I interpreted it. If it was wrongly interpreted, it's fair play. We'll try and make some few adjustments, but I think I'm right on it. So we are getting the total annual cost, core cost, divided by the kilowatt hours, giving the variable cost per kilowatt hour, because Opex is driven to two in the industry where we are. You have the fixed and you have the variables. So like in our power stations, all the maintenance cost depreciation, we normally regard it as fixed. Even when we are applying for tariffs, and my office actually does the analysis, even when we're applying for tariffs, we in the pricing model, we make sure that we split what is variable and what is fixed, because the regulator would want to see that. So in this case, we have the variable cost, which is that. We have the non-fuel Opex, which is regarded as fixed in this case.
Okay.
Then this one also, we're getting it from CN4. And in modeling, it is actually advisable that you show the source of your assumptions. If you have created an assumption, then show it that it is you who came up with an assumption. But I think it's important that we reference some authorities. If you're talking about GDP, obviously you go to your central statistics office. Okay, in this case in Zambia, I don't know with South Africa, which particular authority that would look at. So we need to reference where we are getting these numbers. Okay. Then on work, again, these numbers were gotten from here up to there, from the CAN base. So the debt financing, the way this particular project was financed, assumed is that 80% will be debt financed, 20% will come in as equity. And most of these big projects have always said that these big projects, they are not financed by the organizations that are sponsoring them. No, there's about 70 to 30 rule that any project financed is the most one. What I've seen, what is common, especially here in Zambia, most of the projects, it is 85-15, 85 debt, 15% equity. And I think in school we have been told that debt is cheaper than equity. And we are able to see it even when we do these models. So 80-20 is not bad. But there are times, like even just for your ESCOM, they do not have, currently they're having serious financial challenges. So even what comes in as equity, in the background is basically junior debt. They go for mezzanine and use that particular debt financing, disguise it as equity. But in this case, we know we have 80%, which is debt, 20% coming in as equity, and we have these financing charges, which is basically the interest at 5.9. It was a very good loan. Maybe you got it from China Exim. Then the return on equity.
Sorry, Fitzpatrick, just a question. It's just a general question that I want to understand. Why is financing a project split up like that between debt and equity?
Why is it split up?
Yeah.
Like I said, because it's project financed. So if it's project financed, first you need to know the total EPC cost. So in this case, okay, would assume that it's 1,000, maybe $1 million or $2 billion. Then you cannot go and source for that financing from the DFIs. It will be very difficult. All they will tell you is that you contribute a component of it. So in short here, you are just showing who is actually contributing what to this particular project. So for this project, we are saying 80% will come in through debt. Mostly if it's in Africa, you'll go for, is it DBSA? Development Bank of South Africa, they also do a financing. But I think for projects that are quite huge, you'll find yourself going to China Exim, India Exim. So 80% or come in as debt. Then 20%, that is what ESCOM will say, they'll actually use their own balance sheet to finance it. But like I said, in the background, most of these companies are not even able to finance what we call counterpart funding or equity component. So they go again to in the market to source for a mezzanine debt, which is basically junior debt. So to answer you is in a very straightforward way, is that while you are trying to split this, you are only showing where the money is coming from. And it has a bearing in terms of your cost structure. Because what is going to come here, we will need to create, if we are coming up with a full model, then we need to also bring in a debt schedule, which will show your repayments, your interest, and all those things. So we need to split it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, so with that capex that is coming from here, which is 1.1, should be 1.1 billion or 1.2 billion. Debt would be 940 million. Equity would be 235 million. Then we were able to do the computation on WACC. All you're actually saying is that how much interest will sit in here. This is basically what you're saying. So on the debt, this is the interest that will come in, which you need to pay your financing houses. Then equity, which you have to pay yourself because equity still is not free, which is that. So how much debt are you getting? How much interest? So you have all that amount. And you're saying this divided by the total capex, which then gives you, let me just come here, sorry, which gives you 6%. So the WACC, we are using WACC to compute our levelized cost of energy. Remember what we are doing on the levelized cost of energy. The formula is very simple. We are actually saying for us to calculate our levelized cost, we need to find the NPV of our cost and divide by the NPV of our energy generated. Then it gives us the levelized cost of energy. So coming back to the capex here, which shows 1 million per kilowatt hour or per kilowatt. It is normal. Should I say normal? Yes, it is actually normal having that, because for small hydros per megawatt, we spend about $1 million. Then on the solar, we spend about $800 to $1 million. On core, I don't know, but I think it's also within those ranges. Now coming to the area of controversy before we look at our LCO. So if you remember yesterday, the controversy we had was on calculating the tonnages, and we are getting this 109. Do you remember? Hello? You have all gone quiet.
Sorry, Patrick. So what did you do different from what we did yesterday?
Very good question. We were forgetting the component of time. What we got here, this was all right on the core per ton, which was 109. It looked like it was very low. The number looked so unrealistic. But this is per hour. Because what you are dealing with the kilojoules per hour, which is this amount. So what we got was per hour. Now, for you, you need to compute the tonnages per year. So you get this number and multiply it by 24 hours to get a day, then 365 days to go to a year. So this is what we're getting, which is 956,000 tonnages. Then from there now, since you have these tonnages and you have the cost per ton, it takes you, the annual cost, it takes you to 76 million or $77 million. And I tried to check with our coal mines here. We have a coal-powered station called Mamba. When you look at the numbers that are coming from there, because monthly you spend on this, you spend about 7 million, which for me, I think it made a lot of, is it 7 million? About 6 million somewhere there, which for me, it made a lot of sense. So you look at these numbers and if there's need for you to amend them, then they can be amended. But that was the thinking.
Oh, okay, no, it makes sense. I also didn't notice that hour, eh? But thank you so much.
Yeah. Even when you check, there was a number that we were getting. I don't know, Dario, if you remember, which was 0.0027. If you check, you go on Google, it was 0.0027. Then there was a per hour. The conversion, there was a stroke, then hour. So the only thing that now we needed to do is that in a day, what would it, how much can you get? If at all, in an hour, you're getting 109. In a day, what would it?
Wait, so sorry, just ask the question again.
What I'm saying is, even when you check on Google, the conversion from kilojoules to
kilowatts,
kilowatt
hours, yeah.
To kilowatts, not kilowatt hours, to kilowatts.
Okay, kilowatts.
It's kilowatt per hour, right? It's kilowatt per hour. So when you check that, you'll find it's 0.0027, somewhere there with the numbers. Then there's a stroke per hour. So whatever number you get as 109, it did not mean that it was 109 for the whole year. No, it actually means that we are actually consuming 109 tonnages per hour.
Okay, I see. Yeah. Yes, because we divided it by 3,600.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is where I was getting this 3,600. If you check, it's coming from here in trying to get the kilojoules.
Yeah, yeah, I got that. Yep.
Though in modeling, you try to separate this number so that someone is able to see it. We don't, it's hard coded, but it's a very bad practice.
Yeah, I can see what you're talking about now. Okay.
Okay. So here, I know it's for you, the engineers and the chemists, to try and get the numbers. What I did, I just copied and pasted what was in the CN4 document or scenario. So the only thing is coming up with the formulas. And I would also want to learn how those formulas are done, because I'm so much in the hydro and the solar. Those are the models that I developed. But obviously we can theorize together and see how best we get all these numbers. But these are more of assumptions based on the CN4, but then it's up to the mathematicians in here and to do some computations. But let's go to the LCOE, the levelized cost worksheet. Okay, so we know this facility size, the size of the facility.
Sorry.
Hello?
The size of the facility is supposed to be megawatts.
Yeah, it's megawatts. I just was coming from here. Because the model at first, I think they were having the kilowatt hours there, the kilowatts, sorry. Okay. So this is how the numbers are coming in. We have all these are coming from the assumption or data sheet. Operations and maintenance costs. This is basically the non-fuel. And I explained how it was computed. It's coming from here. From 7 and 18. From 7 and 18. Yeah. There. Because you are looking at the gross, not net, which drives your capex, your opex, sorry, non-fuel. Then the variable cost, I explained how it was computed. Then you get your annual fuel cost, which is basically your variable cost times your annual electricity output. Then your annual electricity output is your installed capacity. Then times the time, times the hours, times the days, so that you get for the whole year. Then times your capacity factor there. But this is not in kilowatt hours. Is it in kilowatt hours?
Well, that's kilowatt hours over the whole year.
This is I should multiply by 1,000, right?
Is that watts or kilowatts? Oh.
No, I should multiply by 1,000.
Is the yearly are we assuming that the yearly output is constant? So it's not changing?
You can escalate that. You can escalate that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah, I've corrected it. Sorry. Even the LCOE, it was abnormal because it's supposed to be around. If it's normal, it's supposed to be around 7.
If it's what is it? Since you times it by 1,000, now it's in what hours?
It's in kilowatt hours. This is how it's supposed to be, because here it is in megawatts. Remember what was on this was kilowatt hours. I think if you check the model that I've given you, here it was kilowatt hours, but I think with the adjustments that I was making just in here, it had to go to megawatts. So meaning that the numbers that you get there, you need to actually multiply by 1,000 so that you convert them from megawatt hours to kilowatt hours, which we have done, giving us the levelized cost of about 7 cents per kilowatt hour.
Okay.
Then if you check in your document, you will see that I think your tariff somewhere it was about 800 rands per megawatt hours, which is almost equivalent to about 8 rands per megawatt hours, just on the numbers.
Yes. 800,
yeah. So coming to, okay, so under your initial investment, obviously these are the things that you're actually going to include. You have your non-fuel Opex, you have your fuel Opex. If you are able to get, the carbon dioxide capture cost, then definitely it is going to sit here.
Oh no.
Sorry.
Excuse me. A quick question. What did you assume an exchange rate?
No, actually what I did, I left these numbers in dollars.
Okay.
Yeah, in dollars, but also what you can do, you can bring in your FX as one of your assumptions here.
Okay.
I don't know the rate, what it is, then you can convert them.
Well,
I'd rather you don't convert them from here. You convert them from your LCO.
Okay.
Or you can leave all these numbers. Again, I'm just suggesting you can leave the numbers in dollars, then you convert your LCO.
LCO, yeah. I think that's what we'll have to do. Yeah.
So like I said, under the LCO, the levelized cost of energy, the formula is very easy. A lot of people always ask this question: why do they have to discount energy? Because what happens is that you have your energy here, your energy output, which needs to be discounted, Then you also discount the cost so that you have your NPV. So in a simpler ways, just to make this thing a bit easier for you to understand, we have from year one, let me start from here. So from year one, you have 1 divided by this number here. Just as an example. Sorry. 1 divided by 1 plus the discount rate. Then you have this divided by 1 plus the discount rate. There must be a discount rate on top. This one here.
Hi, Fitzpatrick, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm just a bit confused about the discount factor. Is it changing to account for the change of the price of money over time?
Yeah, yes, basically the discount factor takes into consideration the value for money and the term value for money, sorry. That is what it does. But mostly people where they get confused is why should, and there isn't enough literature on that, why should energy be discounted?
Yeah.
Because what you are doing on your LCO, you are getting your NPV for all your costs divided by your NPV on energy.
Yes.
What I've discovered with all the models that I've been doing, if you don't do that, you're actually going to have a very huge denominator, and it will take your LCOE downwards. So we are looking at it basically because even when you are selling when you are selling your energy, say the energy that you're going to sell in 20 years, when you discount it today, you'll find that even that energy that you're having is also getting discounted in a way.
I see.
So this is why they discount energy, they also discount the cost.
Oh, okay. I see now.
Hi, Fitzpatrick. I also had a bit of a concern with the discount rate. So looking at the spreadsheet that we have in front of us now, what they did was count year one from the construction years. So I was worried about the lifetime of the project being 25 years, because at this point it only calculates the NPV from year 1 of construction to year 25, which is not the same thing as saying there's 3 years of construction and then 25 years of operation.
Okay, let me just check. I think I made these adjustments. It should start from year now, which is 0, from the year of construction, and we know that the 3 years, the 3 years is basically during construction. The next 25 years is basically the commercial operation. So it's segmented like that. So if you check on this NPV is actually hitting from now up to the time that we'll actually retire this particular plant. I don't know with your templates that you have, maybe I did actually make these adjustments from what I was doing, because you're starting from here. You have, remember that the way capital is actually being distributed, this CapEx, we have the 20% coming in the year 0, which is now. You have, is it 50? You have 50% coming into year 1. Then you have in the 3rd year, which basically is year 2, which will be the 30%. So all these have to be taken care of. So if you check from this model, I think the time value for money has been taken care of, because it's starting from here. Let me just do this, please. I hope it's going up 25. Yeah. So up to 25 there. I don't know why we don't have the numbers here. I'll check.
That's, you see, that's where my concern was, because these numbers are calculated with an if function.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. It's just basically on their modeling thing. So what they should have actually done here, let me do this, because we are starting from here. They used a very fun formula. Just for this side. So okay. Okay, I've seen where it's actually hitting. This should be C12. You can add +2 there. So that it hits up to the 25th year. Then similar thing should be done here. Because it's starting from the 2nd year, then do like this. Sorry, Seb, I had not seen that part. But this is how you can correct it. Because your template, it was assuming that the construction period would be just for 1 year. Is it okay?
Yeah, it makes a bit more sense now. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks. So my part, I'm sure, is done. it will be now a question of you dealing with the CO2 capture cost. I don't know when you are planning to complete this particular assignment. I'm very much available.
We'll try to keep completed as early as possible, but this is a good place to start. So we'll probably have to rewatch this again to get better understanding again and work together on it. So yeah.
Yeah, but before you submit, maybe even during the week, I can show you how to come up with sensitivities, because I think it will be just important that you show sensitivities on your levelized cost of energy. Suppose the capital cost increases by 10%, what happens? Suppose it increases by 4%, it will affect your levelized cost of energy. Suppose all these things that we're bringing in, suppose the core price increases by 2, 3, 4, 5%. So I think to be nice coming up with a sensitivity assumption, which you can also just include in there if you wanted.
That
Okay.
would be very helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, very. Yeah.
Our assignment is due on the 9th of May, and we wanted to have our LCO base cases done before we start to do the sensitivity analyses and stuff like that on mid-Dupi. So maybe we can ask Matume to contact you about another session like this once we've completed our LCOs from what you've taught us now.
Okay, so I'm very much available for you. We can even this week. Oh, is it next week or it's this week? Sunday. I always assume that the week starts on Monday. So even this week, you can let me know. Then we can do some sensitivities, because that would be very key.
Okay.
Okay.
Where can we access the recording from yesterday and today? Can you
I think I'll be able to send it. I don't know.
You can send it to my email, or you can send it to Matume. Matume's email, since you were primarily in contact with her initially. So
okay, I'll certainly do that. So maybe I can go and watch soccer.
or Formula One, if anyone is a fan.
I'm not much of a sports fan. I just support the team that looks the nicest.
I'm also I stopped watching soccer. I do watch boxing and the UFC mixed martial arts, but once in a while I just want to be in a very noisy place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's really interesting. Cecilia will get you into sports, don't worry.
Yeah, sure.
As long as the uniforms are cute, then I'll watch it.
Okay. So thank you so much, guys. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Fitzpatrick.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I don't know if you are still meeting. I can come out and I'll leave this thing. I always paid for the whole month, so you can use your Zoom. I don't know whether this is the end. You are also packing your bags, or you still want to have a discussion. So for me, then officially, I'm leaving.
That's what we need.